Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive. We've got a specific set of sources here today, really zeroing in on the automotive industry. We're pulling mainly from an automotive news report dated June 9, 2025. And our mission, really, for this deep dive is to try and cut through some of the noise, figure out what these sources are actually telling us about the critical challenges the industry is facing right now. Feels like another one of those times, multiple issues hitting.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. These sources, they give us a snapshot. And it really paints a picture of a highly dynamic period. Lots of different pressures all at once, like you said. It shows the industry isn't just focused on one big thing. It's juggling several ongoing issues.
Right. And the headline that jumps out, immediately, is that automakers are apparently in full panic mode.
Mm.
That phrase alone, it signals something pretty intense is happening.
It certainly does. And according to the source, that panic, it's tied directly to a very specific supply chain issue, a bottleneck in rare earth elements, and this is important, the equipment needed to process them.
Ah, okay. So not just the materials themselves.
Exactly. You need the processing capability too.
And the cause, the source states this pretty clearly, is China imposing export restrictions.
Correct. Yeah. The report specifically flags three elements here: gallium, germanium, and graphite.
Okay.
All crucial, for different bits of tech in modern cars, semiconductors, EV motors, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, a restriction there hits hard.
So that rare earth situation is like the big flashing alarm bell. But the source also makes a point of mentioning other featured stories in the same report, which suggests this panic isn't happening in a vacuum.
Precisely. Yeah, while the critical minerals are causing, immediate alarm, the report covers other things too, showing the breadth of what's going on. Like, there was news about Chrysler hitting its 100-year mark. The source notes their design chief described the brand as ripe for a new chapter, kind of hints at maybe strategic shifts coming.
Interesting. A reinvention moment, maybe? What else?
Well, the report also included coverage of a statement attributed to Donald Trump, saying his relationship with Elon Musk is over. And it mentioned a warning about serious consequences if Musk funds Democrats.
Okay, and just to be clear, the source is reporting that statement was made, right?
Absolutely. That's key. We're relaying what the source reported. It just shows how, politics can intersect with these industry figures.
Got it. Anything else stand out?
Yeah, another point was automakers' approach to explaining price increases. The report explicitly states they're blaming increases on pretty much anything except tariffs.
That's interesting phrasing.
It is, yeah. It kind of speaks to how companies might be navigating trade policy impacts and, managing their messaging to consumers.
Right, how they frame those economic pressures.
Exactly. And one more thing mentioned was GM promoting Mike Trevorrow to head of global manufacturing.
Okay, an internal move.
Yeah, seems like it. But, promoting someone to such a key operational role right now,
Yeah.
it suggests companies are making leadership adjustments amidst all these external pressures.
Wow. Okay,
Right.
so when you put all that together,
Yeah.
these different headlines from just one report,
Yeah.
what does this really mean for you, the listener, trying to make sense of the auto industry right now?
Mm-hmm.
It really paints this picture of an industry under pressure from, well, a lot of different angles, often seemingly disconnected ones.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the immediate, like you said, panic-inducing supply chain shock from minerals and geopolitics. But it's sitting right alongside news about, brand identity for a century-old company, high-profile political stuff, complex economic messaging, internal leadership shifts. It's a lot.
Absolutely. It
Right.
really underscores that this moment isn't just about, say, the EV transition in isolation or trade wars by themselves. The sources show it's a critical time where companies are grappling with global resource availability, political wins, economic communication, and, fundamental operational strategy all at once.
So the core takeaway from digging into these sources seems pretty clear then, that rare earth and processing bottleneck driven by export restrictions is definitely causing significant immediate alarm, real panic mode.
Yeah.
But seeing that headline in context with all these other stories, brand futures, politics, pricing games, leadership changes, it just confirms the landscape is incredibly complex right now. It's not one single challenge, but like a confluence of diverse ongoing pressures.
Which leads us to maybe a final thought for you to consider based just on what these sources lay out. Given this snapshot of challenges, everything from critical minerals and trade to political factors, internal shifts, how might the auto industry sort of traditional ways of operating need to adapt? How do they navigate such a diverse and frankly rapidly changing landscape going forward? Something to think about.